Merry Christmas everyone, happy holidays. This will be the final video from me summarizing gaming in 2024, and spoiler alert, it's been a roller coaster ride of emotion from frustration to pleasantly surprised. Now a disclaimer before we begin, I'm not going to list down all events or games. I will definitely miss some and will not be able to cover all. Even the ones that I chose to cover is too much for me. I'm surprised that I have enough storage to download all the footage for this video. So yeah, let's just begin. Oh boy. Let's see. Riot Games laid off 530 staff, about 11% of their workforce. Microsoft laid off 1,900 staff from Activision and Xbox. Eidos Montreal laid off 97 staff after Embracer Group has restructuring. Need I remind you that this is only January. But it's not all doom and gloom. Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown was released on 18 January and people's reaction was,
"Hey, that's pretty good."
The Last of Us Part 2 Remastered. What is that sound? Oh, I see. It's my remastered / remake detector. Yeah, because we're gonna have a lot of that this year. But anyway, it was released on 19 January alongside Power World, which took over the world because for once, Pokemon has a competitor and people are happy about it. What does that say, Nintendo? And at the end of the month, Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth and Tekken 8 was released on the same day, 26 January, so it's not all bad. Let's move on to oh boy. Sony Interactive Entertainment laid off 900 people, which is their PlayStation London studio, and EA laid off 670 staff, as if FIFA is not making them enough money to keep hiring these people, but oh well. Oh, let's see, Persona 3 Reload. There it goes again, because it's a remake. Although, it is an amazing remake. I played it, I 100% it. Highly recommend for those who haven't played Persona 3, and I'm not gonna contribute to the debate of whether the FES or the portable version or the original is better, but hey, for a first time player, this is a very solid game in an otherwise crappy year of gaming. Okay, let's move on to, oh gosh, it's Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League. Where do I even begin with this game? I've been pretending this game doesn't exist because it ruined the Batman Arkham character for me. For those who don't know, Kevin Conroy passed away in 10 November 2022, and this is the last game that he voiced. Man, I'm glad that he didn't have to see his character being butchered. Just look at this scene.
Are we done with your bad stand-up routine?
Almost. But you always gotta end on your best joke.
Look familiar? Scenes like these are happening all over the galaxy right now. You could be next. That is, unless you make the most important decision of your life. Prove to yourself that you have the strength and the courage to be free.
Join the Helldivers. Become part of an elite peacekeeping force. See exotic new life forms. And spread managed democracy throughout the galaxy. Become a hero. Become a legend. Become a Helldiver.
Okay, for those who don't know, a few days later, Helldivers 2 is released. It's actually an amazing game. You know, I feel like it's the first live service game that actually succeeded in gamers' eyes. And I mean, you'll see in the next part of the video. But yeah, it's a good game. Release 2024 has this good game. And a few days later, Banishers Ghost of the New Eden, which is from the developers of Life is Strange, released a new game. I feel like the writing is good, but they haven't really caught up with the gameplay. I mean, I think they're used to making dialogue choices. I don't think they have experience in action game, but hey, you know, at least they're trying something new, and it's not that terrible. The next game is the original Tomb Raider 1 to 3 remastered. Oh, there goes the bell again. But it's a pretty solid remaster. You know, they respect the source material and they didn't change much, and it runs pretty solid, which is what a remaster is supposed to be, unlike a certain other game. Moving on. Oh gosh. Okay, the next game is Skull and Bones. It's the first quadruple A game, says Ubisoft CEO. It'll be a unique experience, they said.
You serious?
Oh, it certainly is unique, you know, how they managed to evolve backwards from Black Flag 10 years ago.
So that was a fucking lie.
But hey, who am I to judge, right? I'm not a game developer. Next game, Brothers Tales of Two Sons remake. Oh, there goes the bell again. But, you know, it's from the creators of It Takes Two, so, you know, I respect them. And last but not least, Final Fantasy Rebirth. Probably one of the biggest game of the year, but sadly it's not nominated for Game of the Year. I can already see people typing that the Game Awards is rigged in the comments. And let's move on to the next month. Saber Interactive is sold by Embracer Group, and it was on my birthday. You know, I feel like this has a very positive impact on the gaming industry because, yeah, you'll see. But still, Sega of America laid off 61 employees. Oh man, Q4 hasn't even ended, and this is how much layoffs there are. Alright, for some good news, Outlast Trial got out of early access, and you know, horror games are not my cup of tea, but at least they went back to their roots for the first Outlast and they didn't double down on their second game. Their second game is just infuriating. But anyway, Dragon's Dogma 2 was released. I feel like this should be considered a remake because people keep saying it feels like the first one just upgraded, and even then there's still some new downgrades to be found. But yeah, I haven't played the game because I can't afford it. Horizon Forbidden West was released on PC this month as well, which is another reminder that you don't need to buy a PS5 and just be patient on PC. And last but not least, we got Rise of Ronin, which is a PS5 exclusive, but people keep saying it's an inferior version of Ghost of Tsushima. Take that what you will. I haven't played the game, so take it with a grain of salt, but yeah, it does look like a inferior version to Ghost of Tsushima. Okay, for April, Nintendo discontinued online services for 3DS and Wii U, but at least you can re-download purchased software and DLC from the eShop. But still, I think this is another argument for game preservation, and Take-Two Interactive plans to reduce 5% of its workforce by December 2024, as if GTA Online don't exist. Okay, but April is filled with good games actually. 1st of April, we got Content Warning, which is a fun multiplayer game, but sadly it's not for me. I'm not the target audience. What is the target audience for me is Celebrate, which is at the end of the month. And people's reactions were...
That nose?
The nose is very different.
Yeah, that nose is definitely not Asian. She's way...
What did he say?
That's a lot. That's a over sexualized.
I don't like how we just take people and like make them unrealistic or like make it to a point where like
Like, because there might be someone who does have that kind of proportion and
sure
just use that person rather than changing.
It's just not the first girl. Like, why?
I think it's just men that's never touched a woman in their life, not knowing what the they look like, and so they're like, this is what women in my video games always looked like, so why are we changing it? It's like, because it's not real, bro. You're living in a fantasy. Wake up. This isn't the Matrix.
Are you sure about that?
Editor's note, the actual controversy stemmed from people arguing about the unrealistic body standards of the game Stellar Blade. So devs released proof showing how the protagonist game model was created from a body scan of an actual South Korean model. I have no idea why this guy is comparing the two faces, but there it is.
They clearly know their target audience. I mean, we should judge a game by their merit, and I'm definitely not judging by its cover. Anyway, let's move on. This month is the month that really made me scratch my head for both Xbox and Sony. Like, seriously, Sony shot themselves on the foot by requiring Helldivers 2 for PSN requirement, which blocks them from 177 countries from buying the game. You know, my only question for them is,
what are you doing? Oh, I'm just seeing if you're allergic to money!
And Microsoft closed down a number of studios from Arcane Austin, Alpha Dog Games, and Tango Gameworks. The game studio that created Hi-Fi Rush, that received awards and was selling well, got closed down. Yeah, no one is safe. For me, we got Homeworld 3. The only thing that I know about this game is that it's being used for CPU benchmarks. Ghost of Tsushima got released on PC. I bought it on day one because I've been waiting for 4 years. Hades 2 was released as well on early access. Senua Hellblade feels more like a movie than a game. XDefiant is made by Ubisoft. They promise they won't shut it down, but let's see what happens in December. And at the end of the month, we got Multiversus, which is a competitor to Smash Bros. Made by WB using their characters. But hey, you know, at least they're trying. Moving on to... Let's see, Sumo Group laid off 250 staff, which is 15% of their workforce. Take-Two closed down Intercept Games, creator of Kerbal Space Program, and their reaction towards the people that bought that game in early access is...
It's a total fabrication. It never happened.
For games, Destiny 2 The Final Shape was released. It's the last story expansion for whatever saga they're going on. And FNAF Help Wanted 2 VR game is also released. Elden Ring expansion Shadow of the Earth 3 is released as well. And surprisingly, it's nominated for Game of the Year.
The graphics are dog shit. The graphics are dog shit. The graphics are dog shit. No real champion, just bare minimum.
When real next-gen games come out, you'll be a footnote in a couple of months. Nobody will even talk about this game.
But I'm just mostly surprised by the fact that why can't they just make a new category for remakes, remastered, DLC, instead of considering this a whole new game? So by this logic, then Cyberpunk Phantom Liberty should have been nominated, or Witcher 3 Blood and Wine should have been nominated for Game of the Year because it's pretty good, right? And Elden Ring already won anyway in 2022. Why give them another chance again? It sets up a very bad precedent for the future. Moving on to... The Olympics Committee discontinued their partnership with Mario and Sonic after 17 years, and what is this? Favors NFT and esports products? I see. Greed knows no bound. And the Screen Actors Guild went on strike for gaming companies' use of AI voice acting. So stupid. And another layoff, Bungie laid off 250 employees. This is just July, guys, and games released on July is The First Descendant. Why do we have to rely on Asian game developers on games that we can actually see without hurting our eyes when it comes to character design? And we also got Darkest Dungeon 2, which is a sequel to the first Darkest Dungeon. I've played a bit of it. It's too depressing for me and too hard. Well, call me whatever you want, but yeah, that was my experience. Moving on to... What is that smell?
We're the best racist.
냄새? 디스커스팅한 냄새가 나요.
그쵸. 소독약 냄새가 봅니다. 우리가 위생에 워낙에 치중하다 보니까.
부원장님한테나 disgusting shit.
I don't know what else needs to be said other than that this game is the living embodiment of DEI, and they don't even need a consultancy firm like Sweet Baby Inc. to make themselves DEI. They just did it themselves, which is an achievement in itself. And another game is Star Wars Outlaw. The CEO of Ubisoft actually said that gamers have too high of an expectation on video games. Well, obviously it's $60, we better be getting a good ass game. While a Ubisoft employee actually said, and I quote, "How can you wish a company fails simply because it doesn't cater to you or that the product doesn't please you," end quote. Oh, I'm sorry. Last time I checked, factors affecting demands are consumer preference and related goods. You better up your game. Ubisoft or competitors will outflank you, which they already do. And don't forget, we have Concord. You guys still remember that? Concord makes Sony look like Internet Explorer as they just like, oh look, there's a live service back in 2016. Nowadays there's so many competitors, it's so saturated. And this is the best thing they can come up with for $400 million.
Concord costs about $400 million to make.
But fret not, people. This month we had Black Myth Wukong. This game broke the record for most concurrent players for any single player game with 2.4 million players. For a single player game, that beats most multiplayer games. And for a first time AAA gaming studio from China, it's actually pretty solid. Personally, I haven't played it because it doesn't look like my style. But at least I'm not criticizing the gaming company with zero base in their claims because you just don't like their success.
Context. IGN published an article trying to smear the company and the devs behind Black Myth Wukong as some sexist freaks because of some of their employees' social media posts. The article cites one of their artists who basically did the still wood meme about this monster. The problem is that this game journalist, either by sheer incompetence or malice, translated these posts in the most uncharitable way possible. And this is nothing compared to the most egregious mistranslation after one of the game company founders posted this in 2020, apologizing for the lackluster trailer of Black Myth Wukong just released. Now, how on earth do you get?
I want to expand my circle and hire more people. Get licked until I can't get an erection.
In reality, the actual translation completely changes the meaning of what he was saying. Not satisfied, I went back checking if anyone called this out when it happened, and they did.
Nintendo, oh Nintendo, they filed a patent to sue Palworld because making a better product is not in their dictionary, I guess. And of course they gotta wipe out the competition because, our cash cow Pokemon can be harmed.
Find it funny how you only decided to sue Palworld after they partnered with Sony and Aniplex. You're scared of Palworld also making an anime and trading card game to compete with Pokemon. That's what this lawsuit is all about. You're just trying to eliminate your competition.
For games, we got Astrobot, which is a very surprising game this year. It got nominated for Game of the Year. I don't even know what it's about. We got Warhammer 40k Space Marine 2. This is what I meant when I say that Saber Interactive being sold is a good thing because they made this masterpiece and it is a crime that they are not nominated for Game of the Year. God of War Ragnarok came to PC. Another argument for going to PC and not buying a PS5. And who could forget Starfield? They just released their expansion Shadow Space, which is a complete flop because, of course, what do you expect from Bethesda? They're just very, very, very outdated when it comes to their game design. And last but not least, we got Frostpunk 2. If post-apocalyptic city management is your cup of tea, then go ahead, but it's too stressful for me. Moving on to which is one of the most loaded months of gaming so far. Let's see, I'm gonna rapid fire this. We got Until Dawn Remake, Silent Hill 2 Remake, Dragon Ball Sparking Zero, Metaphor ReFantazio, Quiet Place The Road Ahead, Batman Arkham Shadows VR game, Call of Duty Black Ops 6, Life is Strange Double Exposure, Red Dead Redemption 1 finally coming to PC, Dragon Age Veilguard, Horizon Zero Dawn Remastered, and Unknown 9 Awakening.
Wait a minute! Who are you?
For those who don't know, this game is of course consulted by Sweet Baby Inc. and of course it doesn't succeed. I feel bad for the actress because it's Yennefer from the Witcher Netflix series, and yeah, I feel bad that she got dragged into this.
I am excited. I'm excited for people to hopefully feel empowered by this character who is so grounded,
you could do you want him to do you so much you could do anything.
And for Dragon Age Veilguard, we got this amazing dialogue.
So I'm non-binary. What does that mean?
It means I don't feel like a man or a woman.
If you are neither a man nor a woman, then what are you?
Non-binary. I just said, and I'm going to use they instead of she from now on.
If this is because I have criticized your dress or your manners...
It isn't!
Under the Qun, the term for one whose gender does not match the one given to them at birth was a Qunathlok. Perhaps you are like that.
Why do you have to keep picking at it? Why can't you just be happy for me?
Evatosh, Chakra to Ebra.
So I'm supposed to struggle with who I am? Even if I don't feel like I fit, even if I feel wrong?
No, you misunderstood.
Then say it better!
So proud.
Oh,
Ah, shit. They're still holding it. Sorry.
What are you doing?
Pulling a barb.
Oh. Okay.
a barv?
Tradition in the Lords of Fortune, from one of our old members, Barv. Good guy, but like most of us, his plans went sideways a lot. Bad blood among your crews, not good for morale, but there's not always time for big, drawn-out apologies. So, when one of us screws up and we know we've screwed up, we do a quick 10 to put it right. Pulling a barv.
Just apologize?
Sometimes people say, oops, sorry, and hope that fixes it. But they just want to get the whole thing over with. Trust me, I know. But pulling a barv, you sweat a little. Makes you think about it a little more. Shows the other person you mean it.
What if they mean it when they say they're sorry, though?
And that's the other reason. Some people mess up and get all dramatic. They make it about them. Oh, you know, I didn't mean it right. I'd never do that on purpose. They feel so bad about it that it's on everyone else to smooth it over and make them feel better. I feel like SkillUp's review sums up the dialogue pretty well. Every interaction sounds like HR is in the room, which is true because there is no conflict in the game, and the dialogue that I just showed actually does more damage to the reputation of the transgender community because it makes them look like unreasonable and sensitive people, when in reality we should just treat them like normal people. It's really not complicated. And doesn't it feel like a self-insert and trauma dumping of one of the writers when in the game it breaks immersion? Who speaks like this in a medieval fantasy setting? The mother actually provided a lore accurate label, but no, we gotta use non-binary. And it's just an overall badly written character. I really don't care that the character is transgender, but I care when they don't shut up about it. Wow, October and November actually is very quiet. There is no news. We got Planet Coaster 2. I still don't understand how it is an upgrade. I feel like they just plastered 2 on it and released the game. And then we got another game, Stalker 2 Heart of Chernobyl. And the game released in a broken state. But hey, we gotta give them a benefit of the doubt because they had to escape their home country due to the Russian invasion. The fact that they still managed to release it is a miracle. And we got another broken release, Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024. And they actually have no excuses to this broken release, unlike the other developer. I forgot that Assassin's Creed Shadows was delayed to February next year, so here's a flashback of me talking about DI in that video, but it's still the same thing. They delayed the game to February because it's Black History Month, and if the game fails, they'll just call gamers racist. You can quote me on that. We got the Game Awards. As of this recording, it hasn't happened yet, so I don't know who they gave Game of the Year to.
And the Game of the Year is... Astrobot!
Remember when Ubisoft said they won't shut down XDefiant? Well, spoiler alert, they did.
Why the fuck you lying? Why you always lying? Oh my god, stop fucking lying.
Marvel Rivals is a success, is what Concord wanted to be while having a respectable monetization.
So we're getting updated numbers now. Currently, there are 450,000 players on Marvel Rivals on Steam alone.
Okay, well, Overwatch 2 will probably be around 300,000?
22,000.
What? 22,000 what?
22,000 players currently on Overwatch 2.
What?
Meaning that Marvel Rivals Rule 34 is actually trending more than Overwatch Rule 34.
No! How? That's impossible! We've dominated Rule 34 for years! So you're telling me Marvel Rivals has won over the Gooners too?
While Indiana Jones and the Great Circle has gotten positive reception so far, a pleasant surprise for the end of the year. And that's all. Finally, it's been a heck of a year. I feel like 2024 could go down as the worst years for gaming, with so many DEI infested games and broken releases this year. But on the positive side, DEI got exposed for what they truly are, a parasite, and no one wants to be involved with them anymore. And gaming companies are finding out the consequences of releasing mediocre games are catching up to them. I'm looking at you, Ubisoft. And I feel like AAA gaming has been exposed this year with the releases of so many good indie games that exposes what people truly want. Just good and fun game with no virtue signaling, without being lectured on. So yeah, that's 2024.